Hey everyone, it's John here from Hot Take Hockey, back with another video. Martin Jones signs a one-year, $875,000 deal with the Toronto Maple Leafs, so he'll be their third goalie potentially behind Ilya Samsonov and Joseph Woll. So just looking at Twitter, of course, Scott Wheeler's saying something kind of funny here. I mean, you'll just look at Leafs signings in the past and guys they've signed for depth. I mean, this is insurance, right? You look at playoff teams, you need an insurance goalie. I mean, look at the Vegas Golden Knights who just won a cup. Aiden Hill comes in and leads them to a Stanley Cup, and he was either their third or fourth goalie on the depth chart. Well, Martin Jones does have experience going to a Stanley Cup final. 33 years old, he is experienced, has had his struggles, and very inconsistent. But yeah, I mean, as Scott Wheeler said, the Leafs could end up placing Martin Jones on waivers for their final roster after preseason, and very well a team could claim him. But if a team has no interest because of their roster, because they already have goalies, then maybe the Leafs will be able to keep Martin Jones after the signing. And I've seen Kraken fans, like similar to this, appreciate Martin Jones this season because he did get hot for a large part of the season and was a big part on why the Kraken went to the playoffs. So, I mean, you can go look at NHL, Martin Jones' highlights, but he did struggle, I would say, as a whole, but I saw him in person also play, and he was 4-2-1 with a 2.37 goals against average, a 919 save percentage, and 7 career starts at Scotiabank Arena, and he played well this year. Overall in the season, 886 save percentage, but yeah, I would say anything in between 800 and 900 for a save percentage is not ideal. But I think for what we saw Martin Jones for a good stretch is hopefully what the Leafs will get him, even if he has to play 5-10 games. So his overall record, I mean, the Kraken helped him out. I think the Kraken defense helped him out, but he was 27-13-3. So having an 886 save percentage is still not good to show for. But he had a good record on the stat sheet. But yeah, I mean, he's struggled. There's no doubt about it. But we know that he can play at the NHL level. So I just also wanted to look at what Leaf fans are looking at. So this is just on the fly, and I saw this earlier, but just blind reacting to cat-friendly stuff. Let's see what Leaf fans are talking about these days. So I did see on Twitter that Elias Lindholm potentially does want to stay in Calgary right now, but we've talked about Zadorov being a target for Toronto. That could be an opportunity there. I think TJ Brodie could still be traded. But now that they've brought in Martin Jones, I don't think they're going to touch the goaltending, of course. I think Samsonov, Woll, and Jones are your guys. I think they've brought in some depth for forward. So I unless there's a Nylander trade to happen, or unless they want to trade a guy like Yarncrow for extra cap space, I don't think they're going to touch their forward group. I think at this point, the Leafs will just touch their defense core, and I think they might make a couple trades. So we'll see what happens, but it's possible. So looking at a couple of these here, let's final moves. Yeah, so dumping Calle Yarncrow is possible. Let's see, Leaf Sharks. Yeah, I mean, I don't see that happening. Let's see what other fans are saying. Yeah, the Zadorov for Brodie. I mean, I've seen that online. If the Flames are retaining, I mean, it makes some sense. I'd rather have Brodie, to be honest. Zadorov's just going to bring more size and physicality. See, this is where some Leaf fans go crazy. But you know what? It's a good starting point. I think Calgary, this is a finesse from Calgary, to say the least. Like, you'd have to see Hanifin or Lindholm in this deal to make Nylander going to Calgary worth it. We still don't know what's going to happen with Jonathan Taves, but dumping Calle Yarncrow to Ottawa, I mean, I don't think Ottawa's need some space themselves. Leafs roster prediction, let's see. Dumping Lafferty, dumping Yarncrow, getting Connor Murphy. I've seen some Leaf fans want Connor Murphy as well. We'll just see a few more here. Pesci for Brodie. Yeah, I mean, Cup winning. Petrie to Toronto, that ain't happening. I've been saying Nick Seeler could be a good option. So we're just going through some defense options here for Toronto, but maybe some people have some other options. Yeah, we already looked at that one. And we'll just go to the next page quickly here just to wrap up the video. Oh, Kessel to Toronto. Hey? Yeah. So dumping Yarncrow, Timmins. You know what? I don't think the Leafs are bringing back Kessel, but I'm actually really interested to see where Kessel goes because he said he's not done. So Let's see what they got for a Columbus trade here. Yeah, I mean, that's not happening. Let's see. Leafs trade. Yeah, we already looked at that one. Let's go to the third page. By deadline. I've seen a couple people look at Peak from Columbus. Could be an option. Wallstrom. Okay, that's a little crazy. But you know what? This is interesting. Getting Besser, imagine. You know what? I would say, I mean, for cap reasons, take the Nylander part out. So take this part out. Just look at this for a second. If the Canucks were willing to trade Besser, I've been on this train. I think Besser would be valuable. If you were willing to move on from Brody in a separate trade, maybe even include Yarncrow in this deal, and then go to Calgary for the Zadorov trade, I'd be willing to look at getting Zadorov from Calgary, Besser from Vancouver, and then moving on from Brody and Yarncrow. I mean, you could make the money work. If Zadorov was retained and you saw like a first-round pick in that deal, Zadorov would be less than $2 million. Besser would be in around $5 to $6 million. That's $8 million combined. Yarncrow and Brody, that's about $7 to $8 million combined. You could make the cap work. But I don't know if Vancouver's willing to trade Besser. But honestly, Toronto's had interest in a guy like Garland in the past too. So I would look at Vancouver as an option potentially, but probably more on the unrealistic side. And maybe just a couple more options here. Toronto. Yeah, the Zadorov Brody thing could still be an option. Lafreniere. I've seen people say that, but trade with Boston, just send Lafferty over there. All right. And get Dante Fabro. So, shit, I mean, that's... No Fraser Minton. That'd be stupid. None of that. But, you know what? Dante Fabro could be a cheap option for Toronto. Benefit from a change of scenery. That could be interesting. Maybe Brody go to Nashville in that deal, but not Fraser Minton. Are you kidding me? And Brody's value, I think, is higher than Fabro at this point in terms of the Leafs winning right now and what they need. So I'm probably against that. And maybe, yeah, Carolina, the Pesci one. But, nah. All right, guys. Leaf fans, how you feeling in the middle of August here? Hit that subscribe button, hit the like, hit the notification bell. We'll talk soon and look at some other deals. And we'll also do some standing predictions coming up soon. All right, have a good one. Peace.